Hi, friend. Welcome, welcome. My name is Vivian. This is Mind Made New podcast. I am so glad to welcome you in today into this space where we can talk about all of the things renewing your mind. And guess what? It's not just positive thinking, it's a path to spiritual formation. Okay, so who am I? What do I do? My name is Vivian. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a mental health coach, a life coach. I am a trauma informed and crisis intervention coach. I am also the owner of wellness or founder and owner of Renewed Mind Wellness and Therapy. And so I'm so glad you're here today. So today, on today's podcast, we are going to talk about what it really means to experience change, and not just surface level change, but something deeper, and not just trying harder, right? Not working more, straining further, but a lasting transformation that touches your mind, your body, and your soul. Isn't that what we all want? So, before I begin today's episode, I want to invite you into something I offer in my private practice. I provide a complimentary first session, and it's only going to be for the next few months. So please take advantage. Valued at $150, lasting 60 to 75 minutes. It's done over Zoom. It is a space for you to slow down and be seen and begin understanding what's happening beneath the patterns that you have been working to change. And yet somehow you seem to be back in the same old loop. So there's no pressure, just clarity, direction, and support. You can reach me. My phone number is down below. My email is down below. My website is down below. So I would love to walk alongside you. So let's settle in though. Okay. So what renewing the mind is not? Well, when people hear the phrase renew your mind, they may immediately think of positive thinking, think better thoughts, replace the negative with the positive, say affirmations, smile more, reframe everything. And while mindset 100% matters, truly, it's important to say this clearly. Renewing your mind is not about glossing over the pain. It's not about pretending everything's fine. And it's not about forcing yourself into optimism when your nervous system, your body, and your lived experience are saying something else entirely. So it's not about pretending everything's fine. I know that's hard to understand because when you look at others, it seems like they know exactly, they've got it all figured out, right? If we look at other people, we compare ourselves. And when we compare ourselves, we steal any little bit of joy that we might be having in this life right now. So, mindset does matter. And renewing your mind is not just about bypassing pain, it's not about pretending, it's not about getting better at the show, showing off that everything's fine in your life. No, renewing your mind is not cosmetic. It's not about slapping some more lipstick on or eyelashes, right? So it's formational. Scripture gives us language for this. And guess what? Psychology, science confirms it. So lasting change happens when our inner world is reshaped, not rushing it, not pressuring, not shaming, but when it's reshaped into alignment with truth. Renewal is not a mental trick, it's a process of becoming. So, renewal or renewing of the mind is about formation, not performance. Okay. So spiritual formation is about who you are becoming and not about how well you're performing. So you have an identity in God that He gave to you from the womb. When you were in your mother's womb, He formed you, He knew you, He counted the hairs on your head. So God has been part of your story since before you ever thought you had a story. When you were cells in your mother, you had a story that started in the womb, okay? An identity that God gave you when He created you in your mother. So, spiritual formation is about who we are as a foundation, understanding that we are a gift from God that is here for a reason and a purpose. So many people, they're exhausted because they're trying to act renewed. They're trying to, and I've done it myself. That's why I'm laughing. They're not actually renewed. They're just trying to seem like they've already done the work, right? We're hoping for that suddenly renewed. And unfortunately, it's like a journey of 1,000 steps. It's one at a time, right? It's not all of them. It's not one step. It's the steps in order as they go. So we manage our behavior, ignoring the beliefs underneath. So, right, instead of asking, becoming curious, why am I doing that over and over and over again? We adjust our thoughts without tending to the wounds underneath, the things that shaped that thought. So we're quoting truth while our bodies are still living in survival. And that's not going to work. It does not work. It does not work. So the mind does not renew in isolation. It renews in relationship with God and safety with truth and compassion. And I would even say that renewal happens in community. Being a recovery coach, a ministry leader, I would tell you that recovery is not possible alone. I would say that you have to recover in community with others to keep each other accountable. And I'm part of that community. And this is part of my process and my story, right? How I came to this place. So you're managing behaviors while ignoring the beliefs underneath. Well, I'm suggesting something different. I am suggesting through God's word that you can adjust the thoughts underneath, and that will help you change your behavior long term. The mind does not renew in isolation. Like I said, there are verses that say that we are to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. That's Romans 12. And renewal implies practice and patience because it's an ongoing process of gradual healing. Many people get discouraged here. They think that one day I've eaten a salad. Why haven't I lost the weight? I've gone to the gym once. Why have I not got muscles? So transformation implies process. Formation implies time. Renewal implies patience. But we want instant relief from what we were to what we're going to be. That's not how it works. We want instant relief. But we're being invited into a process of gradual healing. And so why do positive thoughts or just positive thinking fall short? Well, it fails because it only works from the top down. Real renewal is from the inside out. You can't override a dysregulated nervous system with a positive thought. Sounds good, but it doesn't work. You cannot heal trauma by correcting language. You cannot spiritually bypass grief. The brain learns through repetition, yes, but also through safety, felt safety. The soul heals through truth, but only when truth is received and not imposed, like forced onto someone. So this is why spiritual formation must be embodied. It must include stillness and curiosity on our part. The soul heals through truth, but only when the truth is received. So we have to listen. We have to be still. God says in his word, be still and know that I am God. So we must include listening. It must include awareness. Spiritual formation includes embodiment, stillness, awareness, right? These are all very important. We have to see what's going on inside of ourselves actually before we can change it. Renewing your mind means learning how to sit with the pain long enough to understand it without judging or correcting or feeling shame or attaching harmful feelings to the pain. We must not connect it to that story. but sit with it rather and let it wash over. So the role of stillness and awareness, we have to slow down. Again, we have to slow down. We have to slow down to be able to notice. And it's not entirely possible in our busy culture right now. So notice, what do you believe? Notice, what do you assume? Notice, what does your body react to? When do you feel a jump in your body, a tingle? Notice what stories automatically play when something feels uncertain. What do you start to tell yourself about it? Start to notice. Stillness is not passive. Stillness is attentive to God speaking to you. We are not emptying out. We are releasing what's in our mind so God can give us inspiration, but that includes His word. Okay, so this is very important. So, in stillness, we stop arguing, we stop fixing, we stop defending. In that space, that quiet, still spot, truth has room to take root. God can speak directly to our hearts and minds. So there's another verse that I love. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Freedom does not come from knowing information. It comes from integrating the truth at the level of belief. And God says in His word, we only need the amount of belief of a mustard seed. And so truth must move from our head to a lived experience in our body, and it must be felt and trusted and embodied. Spiritual formation is the slow alignment that we must do in order for things to change. We must align, right? We must align. We have to. It must be felt and trusted, embodied. Spiritual formation is a slow alignment of belief and identity and behavior. It's learning to live from what is true rather than what's familiar, because a lot of times we try to live in the familiar all the time. It's comfortable, right? It's very comfortable. Who actually wants to live in that terrifying space in between when we don't know what to do? So we wrestle with God and we try to take it over, and we try to tell Him what's going on and what's going to happen. And then that takes us out of our calm, peaceful, lived experience, right? Spiritual formation is the slow alignment of believing, identity, and behavior all coming together. So, renewing your mind, what does it look like? Well, it looks like learning how to pause instead of react, right? It looks like becoming curious about your inner dialogue. It looks like allowing God's presence to meet you in that stillness, that be still, to calm your nervous system, right? Letting old survival strategies soften. So things that you noticed you were doing, you're not doing those anymore. They're not working, but there's no shame there, right? You're not shaming them away. You're just acknowledging that's not working. That inner dialogue, right? You're becoming curious about it. So maybe it feels quieter than you expect, slower than you want, for sure, deeper than anything positive thinking alone could accomplish. So if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I want this kind of renewal, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, you're not behind. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. This is exactly the work I do with clients. I create space for healing that honors both psychology and faith without rushing or spiritualizing the pain. We create a safe spot for you to process through, sit with it. So I want to remind you again that I've just recently last year founded and opened a private practice. And so I am offering complimentary first sessions for new clients, valued at $150, 60 to 75 minutes long, done on Zoom. Check out my information below. Listen, renewing your mind is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you were always created to be, whole and grounded and free, so you can continue forward in the work that God has for you to do here, right? Because there's things for us to do here. And we want to do them in the most healthy, well way. So, thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, or if you're like, oh, that actually sounds really interesting, I would like to an opportunity to talk more about this topic, I encourage you, first of all, share this with someone, would you? Slow down, slow down, connect with me. Let's chat. I'd love to walk with you. Be gentle with yourself. Formation takes time. Renewal is already underway. Did you know that? My name is Vivian Hensley. This is Mind Made New. This is my podcast born of all of my different experiences as a mother of many children, as a Grammy, as a wife, as a mental health coach and a life coach and a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a recovery and ministry leader and trauma sensitive and informed person. I just want you to know that you are welcome here. You are loved. And I'm so glad you listened. And I hope I gave you some encouragement that you are not stuck. You are not broken. Renewal is possible. We can do this. I can help you. But if not, hopefully I encouraged you today. Tune in next time. Peace and grace to you.